Against the backdrop of a raging COVID epidemic and a quite visceral Black Lives Matter movement, Abroad While Black was born. Our goal was to highlight Black perspectives from all over the world. It was our way of proving there are other ways to live, other places to be successful, and different cultures that embrace our Blackness. In 2020, the Abroad While Black team created dozens of responsive hot takes and thoughtful interviews covering topics ranging from current events, business opportunities, dating, and life-changing moments. In 2021, our co-hosts Cordy and Sean aim to share more success stories, more productive introspection, and most importantly, how to relocate to a place that truly values what you offer the world. Abroad While Black is more than a show. This is a social experiment hell-bent on discovering new ways to secure the bag and live our best lives. Join the Abroad While Black squad.
We understand that you need to feel ownership of your company to give your all. So we will not come to ask you for 30% in your company, 40% in your company. But there are investors that do that, and you have to be careful. You shouldn't sell your company or sell your life work almost immediately just because you want a few $1,000s. Yes, I'm saying a few $1,000s because if your company ends up being extremely successful, that initial first money you took in, that money you took in at first might be chicken change. Also, while raising your valuation, you must be open to feedback from the investor. So if the investor says, I think your valuation is too high and you should bring it down a bit, I'm not saying bring it down to 30, but bring it down a bit. You should actually do it, say yes. Reason is 100% of something that is worth nothing is nothing, which means if you like you raised your valuation so high, you have 100% ownership of your business, but nobody's investing in your company eventually dies. That's nothing. So 100% times zero is nothing. But if you give out 10%, 20%, even if you reduce your valuation a bit, and your company still lives and continues to make money and continues to grow, guess what? Even if you owned just a bit of that company, you've gotten you might get millions of dollars back. We've seen situations where people exited their company at Series C or D, and they had only 10% of their company, but they made over 100 million. Obviously, it's not the case for a lot of people, but it happens. So 100% of nothing is nothing, but 10, 20, 30, 50, 60% of something can still amount to something. So be open to getting investment from people and be open to that conversation on valuation. And I think lastly, I think you should take the equity conversation very serious. So 2% of equity, 2% change of equity can determine a lot of things, right? So be careful as to how you do your equity allocation, who you give equity. You know, typically when you grow your business, you give your co-founder equity. You make reservations for equity for your employees. Very, very important. Know that at the early stage, you cannot pay everybody, but you can motivate some people by equity and say, hey, if you're part of my company for the next 5 years, I'm going to invest 10% of my company to you, which means over the next 5 years, this person is going to earn equity worth 10% in your company. Very, very important. This is how you can attract the biggest talent to your companies when you cannot pay them. Yeah, so that's my advice around, the valuation and equity conversation.